right? Yep. That's going to do more harm to the economy than any tariff. Yeah, hold on one second. How many Americans have student debt? 43 million Americans. And how many Americans aren't paying student debt? Yeah, 43 have outstanding. I think they said something like 40% of the people with outstanding debt weren't paying. 8 mil aren't paying, so like 20%? Something like that? No, no, no. According to the New York Times, as of June 2nd last year, student loan borrowers owe 1.6 trillion, nearly half aren't paying. And it's 1 in 5 Americans are skipping repayments. So, deport all debt holders? Dude, how many of the people getting hit by this are going to be mad as f at Trump over it? There are going to be a lot of like insufferable Alabama, or not Alabama, sorry. Uh, uh, why am I thinking Alabama? It's not Alabama. It's the other state, New Mexico and Arizona. Arizona State University students, insufferable like Party City Bitcoin guys who graduated back in like, 2022 or whatever. We're going to be mad as hell when they start getting collection calls. This is going to drop the birth rate by another like 0.1 or 0.2. That's pretty true. That's pretty true. The blueprint proposes a drastic cut in the State Department and international programs budget, nearly 84% lower than last fiscal year. Wow. Jesus. A 1.5 billion cut in peacekeeping operations, 3 billion cut in disaster assistance, 1.6 billion cut in food for peace. Reduces the State Department and U.S. aid operations budget by 2 billion. Oh, we're all going to die for real? No, no, no. That's foreign affairs. Don't worry. Now let's take a look at the domestic. Cut from EV programs. 400 million cut from the Department of Energy's Office of Nuclear Energy, saying it wants to stop funding non-essential research. Really? For the Department of Energy's Office of Nuclear Energy? Okay. The budget for the DOE also proposes cutting $389 million from a program that cleans up and stores nuclear waste at several different locations around the country. All right, that sounds fine. I can't envision any possible issues with that. The budget would maintain current funding levels for cleaning up the Hanford Nuclear Waste Facility in Washington State, but reduces funding for various cleanup activities at other sites, though it doesn't specify where. National Park Service operating budget cut by $900 million, cutting its construction, historic preservation, and national recreation funds collectively by hundreds of millions more. Climate research, slashing the Earth science research at NASA, including eliminating what it says are low-priority climate monitoring satellites. Oh, what are we just gonna knock those out of orbit, or not send any new ones up, or what? Okay. Cut funding for climate research. Sweeping reductions to the NOAA's climate monitoring and research functions. No more hurricane predictions. Yep. At NOAA, this would include next-generation satellites more on weather than climate. The budget also proposes cutting $235 million from EPA's climate environmental justice research. You ready for Florida to get hit with like 17 hurricanes a season, none of which are accurately charted or predicted, because one of the people at the NOAA said that higher sea surface temperatures contributed to the hurricane season, and he got like fired for doing so? 56% reduction for the funding to the National Science Foundation, including climate and clean energy research funding, but also what the proposal describes as woke social, behavioral, and environmental sciences and programs in low-priority areas of science. It would end funding in programs categorized as DEI related. I have some friends in meteorology, and they're all sounding massive alarm bells about the administration's non-belief in the science. Well, yeah. Oh, yeah, we're all going to die, obviously. No more housing assistance. Saving more than $26 billion by eliminating the Department of Housing and Urban Development's rental assistance program, including Section 8 vouchers. Wait, are we getting rid of Section 8? And replacing it with a plan to allow states to design their own rental assistance programs based on their unique preferences. Okay, we're leaving it to the states. Damn, we're getting rid of Section 8. Okay, damn, that's been a thing for a while. I'm sure the states will do a great job replacing it. The plan would also include a 2-year cap on rental assistance for able-bodied adults. Oh, you just straight up cannot be poor for more than 2 years. You have like a bounce back period. All right. More than 2.3 million low-income families use the Section 8 housing voucher program. Eliminates 1.25 billion home investment partnerships program, which provides grants to states and local governments and low-interest loans to developers to expand the supply of affordable housing. That's a big set of paragraphs for the healthcare programs. So wait, they just killed Section 8? No. This is the bill that Trump has proposed that he's threatening to bypass Congress to pass. Massive cuts to spending for the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and the National Institutes of Health. Eliminates a broad range of health programs focused on HIV/AIDS prevention, maternal health, and family planning under the Health Resources and Services Administration. Why does he want to bypass it? Because a lot of Republicans don't like this either. Your president can bypass them? I mean, not legally, but like, yeah, by breaking the law. The CDC proposal more than halves the agency's budget from $9 billion to $4 billion in a plan that refocused the agency on its core mission. That includes cuts and merges for state health funding and a massive reduction to the agency's funding on infectious diseases, opioids, viral hepatitis, tuberculosis, and sexually transmitted diseases. The NIH would see a nearly $18 billion funding cut, and 4 institutes focused on minority health, nursing research, global health, and integrative health eliminated entirely. The administration already dismissed most of these institutes' directors and canceled funding to hundreds of research-related grants. Or related research grants. Man, this country's actually like done, huh? It's like done. Like actually. Like it's beyond just incompetent administration. They're like anti-country. I mean, it's like anti-anything, I guess. Gotta move to China. The reorganization of the NIH would align with the president's priorities to address chronic disease and other epidemics, autism, and eliminate research on climate change, gender ideology, and divisive racialism, according to the budget document. Eliminate the $4 billion LIHEAP program, which helps about 6 million Americans afford the utility bills. It said the program is unnecessary because states have policies preventing utility disconnections for low-income residents, meaning that LIHEAP mainly benefits utilities. Some of this seems like it wouldn't be capable of passing. I don't know, man. Have you considered that Republican legislators hate life and themselves? $12 billion cut from the Department of Education, or 15% of its budget. Eliminate many K-12 and higher educational programs. Cut $64 million in funding for Howard University, the nation's only federally chartered historically black university. Yeah. Yep. It's going to be a very hot summer. Yeah, probably. Especially because, like, there might be more cuts. Because keep in mind that, like, this budget reduction is still before the additional Trump tax cuts. So if they want the budget, if they want to continue to, like, reduce the deficit, which what they've been saying they're going to, they might add this in with the Medicare cuts. Or they might just leave it alone. And they want to eliminate a bunch of smaller agencies, including Corporation for Public Broadcasting, AmeriCorps, Institute of Museum and Library Services, 400 Years of African American History Commission, National Endowment for the Arts, National Endowment for the Arts, National Endowment for the Humanities. Damn. Well, it's been a good run. Wow. Sheesh. Yeah, not so well endowed now, huh? Oh, did we lose libraries? Yeah, basically. Would eliminate the $1.6 billion Job Corps program, which it called a failed experiment to help America's youth and said was plagued by violence, assault, sex crimes, drugs, and death. Okay. What Trump wants to spend more money on? Veterans care. That makes sense because the main recipient of additional funding is the Department of Defense, the Pentagon. I honestly, this whole budget from Trump, this reeks to me of MIC involvement. Anyone else getting that feeling? over in the legislature, right? The Republicans are like, what are we going to cut? Well, in order to like make these needs met, in order to like make the money balance it out in addition to the tax cuts, we're